Hey guys, Steven here, back with another episode of the VANCAST, and today I have Justin Odisho on my channel. We did a collaboration probably a year ago, and I just want to start off with like how you met me, because you contacted me first and we did collab off of that. So how did you find me, and what did you do in order to get me to do collaboration with you? Because at the time you still had more subs than me and all that, and we didn't know each other before that. So how did you get in contact with me?
Sure. So I remember I was in a college class, sent all the way in the back. I said all the way in the back, and this was at a time where I was reading a lot about you know how to collaborate in business and doing guest posts. And I don't remember exactly how I found your channel, but I'm pretty aware of like most of the channels that are you make similar
Yeah.
type of videos here and there. So I reached out to a few channels to see if I could do a guest post on their channel. So like make a video for them to use and have. So instead it's kind of like a collaboration, but it's like I'm just giving you a video for you to use on your channel. And I DM'd you while I was in class, and I was like, "Hey, I like your channel. Would you want me to do?" Or I think you tweeted something too. I noticed that you tweeted something
Yeah,
about wanting someone to do to like
probably,
make a video
probably.
because you were gonna be away for a day. And so I was like, "Hey, I'd love to make a video for your channel. How about I do one on like?" And then we just came up with an idea, and I did the video for your channel,
Yeah, so that's
right?
really cool. Like a lot of people don't reach out because they're afraid that they won't get response, or stuff like that. I still actually help out smaller channels, and I'll like maybe be in one of their videos and stuff like that. So I feel like if you want to be in my video, or if you want me to be in your video, like feel free to like contact me. I've been in a couple of people's podcasts when they reached out. So like if you ever am wondering, or just ever want, like ever wonder if like I'm interested in something, just like contact me. Like I won't be afraid to reply or anything like that. I reply to like basically every single message and email. I wanted to focus this episode around kind of how you built your YouTube channel, because you've been on YouTube a lot longer than I have, and your channel kind of blew up just a couple months ago. And you were at a, like, we used to be very close in subscriber count, and now it's like tripled. So I just want to ask you like how you got started, how consistency played a role in what you do, and just like the overall like look at it, like how you grew your channel.
Sure. So yeah, I think when I DM'd you on Twitter, I was at like 60 or 70,000, and you were maybe at like 40,000 or something like that. So not too far off, and not like numbers don't matter that much.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I so like I said, around that time I was just trying like as much stuff as I can, and really trying hard to like collaborate and reach out to people, and just like grow my channel and do everything I could before I graduated. And there was a point, it took about 2 years, a process of like quitting my part-time job just to focus on school and figuring out a way to make money online that was at least as much as my part-time job. So first, I quit that. I was like, okay, I'm smart enough to figure this out. And when I quit that, I was like, now I can post more. So step one, I started posting more. I started dedicating more time into figuring it out. And then step two, about a year, like a little bit over a year ago, I had rented the studio space strictly to go make videos at, because I thought that was going to help me. And I did make more videos there, but still, I was only posting like 3 or 4 times a week, still, even with only having school and not work obligations. And then there was a certain point where it said that wasn't working either. It was working a little bit, but I said, if I'm going to just post every single day, and I'm not going to miss a day for at least like 100 days. And after just posting every single day, things started to pick up around January of this year, and have grown a decent amount since then. Like I think I went
yeah.
from 70 to like 350, almost at 350,000 subscribers now in like almost that year's time.
Yeah, and I also like you've talked about this, I'm sure of it, where you said you also like how did you, what do you think about school? Because you were in a position, like you're in a position now where school didn't really help you to get to that position, right? Like and how school was a big part of your life still at that point, because you still had to balance between the two. How did you like go about doing that? Because I'm sure like even me in high school, it's still like kind of challenging to balance everything. How did you balance that, like just school
Yeah.
and
I
everything?
think okay, well, there's two parts. So like how I feel about school, it's now that I've graduated and I've done it, it's kind of a two-parted answer. One, I think at a certain point, like halfway through, I knew that I absolutely wasn't ever going to be doing anything like you going to get a job with my degree, or like I never imagined myself or could see myself to just work somewhere. So there was a certain point where I absolutely knew that in my gut, but I still kept like going because I thought I had to. I wouldn't say school is entirely bad for every reason. You do meet people. It is a chance to learn things that aren't necessarily your coursework, and it's just it's an interesting experience. However, if you know in your gut what you want to do, but you're just scared to do it, like there's a certain point where I could have or should have just took those extra 2 years and just jumped in earlier. But I mean, I don't regret anything. I mean, some people figure stuff out in different
Yeah,
ways. So, I mean, as far as balancing, like I said, I was the hardest part about school though is when it's draining you money wise, and you don't want to go, and you're also paying a lot of money.
yeah.
So that was
Yeah, I
the
haven't
hardest
faced
part
that
for
issue
me.
yet. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's so like
like
eventually, you end up having to
yeah,
get a
yeah,
job, or
I get
like
it. Yeah,
YouTube wasn't. I'm gonna say like everything I was doing online. It's not just YouTube. It's like an online business. Is how you have to think about it. It wasn't
yeah,
making me enough money to like pay tuition and just do normal things. So eventually, you have to get a regular job, and then you stop focusing on that stuff, and then that's where the balance comes in. I had to focus school, work, and then creative stuff online. And the way that I balanced it was I just slowly went more and more part time on my job as I saved money and was able to kind of slowly transition off of my job, and eventually just took the dive, quit the job full time so that I could balance the two things at once. So I couldn't balance three things, I could only balance two things.
yeah. I haven't faced like those issues yet. I haven't had a part-time job, or I haven't been to university yet, and I don't have that sort of struggle. So it's like great talking to you because you have experience that I don't have. So, yeah. And like I've been thinking for a while, like whether I should, go to university or just like take a year off and then go, or how that goes. But like at this point I really don't know. I think I'm sure in my gut that I can do something and I can make a living off of what I do, because at this, like right now, I don't, like YouTube doesn't pay that much, and like the other stuff I do as well, it makes a decent amount of money, but it's got to be on like a much bigger scale for me to kind of live off of it. So, like, I just been thinking about it for a while now. So your advice kind of does help me and a lot of people in my position, because a lot of my subscribers, a lot of people watching this are probably younger, because I have a much younger
Mhm.
audience, as you know. So yeah, that's some great advice.
I
And
think it's
like this
okay to
question,
not know. I was
yeah,
gonna say I think it's
like I'm
okay to not know, and not to interrupt you, but it's okay to not know, and especially like how old are you again? You're like 16 or
I just turned 16. I
seven?
turned 16 yesterday.
Oh, oh, happy birthday, happy
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to not know, especially I mean you're 16, so like you have plenty of time to figure things out as you go, and that's really good that you're doing so much already and making like I'm sure you're making as much money as some sort of part-time job. So
yeah,
it is kind of something. And as long as you're saving up, maybe it'll afford you time to figure out things like tuition. But um as- at a certain point though, do you know in your gut like there's going to be a certain point where do you ever see yourself doing anything where you're not working for yourself or like figuring things out on your own creatively? Do you have ideas and visions of going and working for a company? Or I mean, and if you do, that's cool, and maybe you could go that route. So it depends on if you know
like
yet.
I definitely, like what I'm trying to aim for is, like, I have this general idea, but I just don't know specifically what I want yet. And I'm sure like I'm still ahead of a lot of people my age, because like some people don't know anything like about what they want. But I have this idea, and it has to do with like working for myself. And I think that I can still do university and do what I'm doing and still accomplish it, but just not going to university will make it a lot easier to accomplish that. But I'm just not
Mhm.
sure, like I'm just not sure if I fall off but I can't be thinking about that
Yeah.
just because
That that's the biggest
everything's gonna,
like
yeah,
thing that
yeah, I have to be good for it all to play out, right?
yeah.
Like
The
I have
biggest
to
thing
be
though is just
consistent.
like if you believe you can, this is like so cliche, but there's always the thought of well, maybe I can't make it. But if you just believe that you can, then you actually truly think that you can kill those negative feelings and then somehow figure out a way to do it, you know? And what year are you in? You're still in high school, right? So, I mean, you don't have,
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like you have, it's not do or die yet. So you have time to wait it out and see what happens, you know? But
yeah,
I'm
I'm
going to
just
tell you
trying
if the
to,
opportunity comes, you can always go to college like 1 or 2 years later, you know?
yeah. Like what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to do as much as I can before university, so that by the time I have to make a decision, it'll be much easier. Like if I put in that much work and something great comes out of it, then I know, that, like. But obviously, I have to be patient, and I can't
Yeah.
just expect all of it to happen within the 1 or 2 years that I'm still in high school. So I guess, like, I still, yeah, I definitely believe that I will go somewhere with this. I think that I'm a lot more talented and like hardworking than a lot of other people, and a lot of people who are doing the same things as me. So yeah, I guess, and I guess it really, like, what, like, I don't know how to explain it, but every day it seems like you don't move that far ahead. Like you don't accomplish that much, but over the grand scheme of things, it kind of like,
Yeah. Once
you
you look
like,
back a
yeah,
year,
like, yeah, because I've been doing this whole thing for 3 years, around 3 years, and it feels like I haven't done much, even though I've done a lot. Like, I don't know how to explain it, and it sounds kind of weird, but it's like every day is a struggle, but over a year, it feels a lot better that I've done stuff. Like, every day it's just constant working and stress and everything, but just the year feels great. Like, I'm constantly
yeah, it's
happy
it's
and
it's brick by
stressed all the
brick.
time,
It's
right?
piece by piece. All you
Yeah.
can do in one day, you can only do. A lot of people underestimate how much they can do in a little amount of time. Or sorry, they overestimate how much they can do in a little amount of time, but underestimate how much they can do in a long amount of time. Like 5 years is enough to do almost like make
Yeah.
anything happen. And as far as it, like blowing up or making something happen, like 5 years is enough time to go from 0 to 100 to 1,000.
Yeah, I still have. I'm in grade 11 right now, so I still have this year
Yeah.
and the next year as well to do, to like kind of figure it out.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
you don't
like,
have to make the
yeah,
choice until it comes.
yeah, and yeah, that's basically everything that I just wanted covered, right? Like YouTube consistency, school, because that's kind of the whole what my audience
Yeah.
kind of talks about in that sort of stuff.
And
Um,
I'm gonna say too, like I didn't figure out to take the leap until I was like 22 or like some like mid 22. So I didn't I was completely lost until like 22, 23. So consider that you're 16 and if you're listening and you're younger, that's 4, 5, 6 years still that I was still like figuring it out, just going through school, going through different jobs and kind of just not diving in fully to what I was doing on the side. So trust me,
yeah.
that's a long time. Well, it's a short time, but it's
Yeah,
a long time.
like I feel like super. I feel like older than everybody who I'm around, but yet I'm like
Yeah.
super young because I've been like just working and working. Um, Really,
Yeah.
the last question I have is kind of like what you think about like the importance of sleep. Like, do you stay up? Like, are you the type of person who's gonna stay up all night and work and then wake up late, or are you the person who wakes up early and sleeps early? Like,
I'm
I
a
still haven't found
complete
a
night
balance.
owl. I
Yeah,
I'm a complete I'm a complete night owl and it's not good. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's healthy. I stay up way too late sometimes and I wake up really late. So the best thing I've ever bought on Amazon is this sleep mask thing so I can sleep in the morning. But then I mean then again I don't have any normal day obligations usually. Like I don't have to go to I don't have to drive to a job at 9 a.m. like I used to, and I don't have to go to school. So it is, I will say, if you're a night owl, society is not a night owl. So there'll be a ton of times, like just today, I had a dentist appointment. And so, yeah, I stayed up till 5 or 6 a.m., but I still have to go to the dentist appointment in the morning. So there's times where you're going to be jet lagged by society. But I don't know,
Yeah,
night owls, they
yeah.
say, are more creative, but I mean,
Yeah,
I can't help
nighttime I
it.
feel much more creative. Like nighttime, there's some sort of vibe. Like sometimes I'm tired the whole day, and then at night I just get energy. Like it doesn't really make sense, but when I'm supposed to sleep, I feel like the most energetic, and that's where I get all my ideas. And like I'm planning to sleep, and then I see something or something pops up in my head, and then I do it, and then it's like 2 a.m. and
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
it's kind of bad, especially since I'm in
Yeah, in the
school.
morning, like you have to
Um,
deal with the daytime stuff.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll have like I'm exactly like you, and I stay up all the time. But that like during summer, I saw you do live streams at like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or something like
Yeah,
really early.
I just did one like
And
2 days ago where we stayed up till like 6 a.m.
yeah, that's just crazy. Like during the summer, I was exactly
So
like
good.
that because I'd wake up. But like with me in the summer, I'd have to wake up in the morning because I had a lot of photo shoots in the morning. So I'd wake up at like 11, go to Toronto, take a bus there. It'd be like 12, do a photo shoot for the whole day, come home at like 10, 11, work until like 6, wake up at 11. Like I had 5, 6 hours of sleep every day during the summer.
Yeah.
And it was just like that it was that for like 2 months, 2 straight months. And like, it's not healthy, obviously, but it either is, I don't know, like me, I'm the type of
Happens
person who wants to
sometimes.
finish. Like I want to finish things as soon as I get it. So if I have to edit photos, I'll stay up till like 4 a.m. to finish them. Or if I need to get a video out, or if I want to get a video, I'll get it out. I don't want to wait till the morning. I think that's the biggest problem with me is that I could get more sleep and I could be a little bit more productive if I had a little bit more sleep and I woke up on like a regular basis like everyone else. But I just don't want to wait for that sort of stuff. Are you kind of like that?
Yeah, like a big thing that happens too is when I committed to the consistency of I'm going to post a new day no matter what. That meant that sometimes I had just different obligations during the day and I didn't get the video done until 4 a.m. or and it just like a vicious cycle that keeps going. So my best advice is to plan ahead, like have at least one day of if you're gonna start something like a consistency thing, stockpile like 2 or 3 days of work in advance. That way you give yourself a break if something happens during the day and you have to go do something, stay up
Yeah.
till a crazy amount of time or miss a day. That's
Like
that's uh
yeah.
that's something that's
Yeah.
cool when you get ahead.
I've started using a calendar. Like I never thought I'd use a calendar, but I wasn't that type of person, right? I usually just attack things once I like think about it. If it comes up, I'll attack it and I'll just finish it, right? But like I think a calendar and like to-do list and stuff like that actually help me out. I don't usually like I'm not really kind of like it's kind of a general idea for me. Like I don't check something off every time I do it. It's kind of like I just put it there so that I remember because sometimes you forget to do certain things,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'll be overcommitted because I think that I finished something or I finished my schoolwork when I really didn't because I forgot something. Um, so I think just writing down everything. Like I actually like got a notebook just for like YouTube and like just whenever I have like ideas about videos. So I'm pretty sure you do that, right? I think you mentioned it,
Yeah.
where you just jot
I
down.
think it's super important. Yeah, just to like keep a note. But like actually just the notes app on your computer. I have a ton of
Yeah,
stuff in there. That's where I keep everything organized. Like I have a to-do list, just general ideas, video ideas, podcast ideas, uh and then I also notebook just to try it out and like thoughtful stuff in there, I guess, just like kind of like ideas I have or like thoughts and like not really video
yeah,
related or work related, just like thoughts about life, I guess, or like
yeah. So
epiphanies.
I do that. Like sometimes, like I think like I used to do this, but at the end of every day, I used to write like something good that happened or something that I should take note of, like of that day, like something that happened that day
Yeah.
that's kind of memorable or that I should remember, think about. I think it's really important. Like if you have any idea or any like sort of energy, like just do something with it. Like don't just keep it in your head, because a lot of people think about something and then don't, don't kind of use that idea or use that. So I think it's really important that you kind of get everything out of your head, because it's super frustrating when you want to get things done and you're just super hyped but you just don't know what to do. Like sometimes I'm motivated, right? Something happened or something, and then I just look at my schedule and like I just look at the stuff I'm supposed to do and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Um, and I just think it's really important to have a plan with everything you do, whether that's school, whether that's like an upload schedule or something you have to do in the day. Just putting it down and just it's just easier to remember. I think organization is like really helpful when you're trying to be consistent, because things can occur, like events in the day, and it could just mess up everything. So just knowing what you have to do and just having kind of like a backup plan sometimes is really important. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I guess that's yeah.
well, with schoolwork, I would always procrastinate essays and everything to the last minute. And my best advice is just do the work as fast as you can in class, or like utilize all those times where you're in lecture and there's like 2 hours to work on it. And everyone always says, "Oh, I'll just do it later when I get home." Just since you're already
Yeah.
going to be there in class, just do it all. And the other thing, yeah, writing all your ideas down, because you're going to be so busy with a whole bunch of different stuff that sometimes you can forget a really good idea. Or sometimes I don't have a video idea, but I can just go through and I have a huge list and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember I was going to do that one. And that
Yeah,
it
I don't
just gives
yeah.
your brain like,
Yeah, I don't think people utilize their time like the best, because even even like me, like I edit my videos during lunch, and we have like an hour lunch, right? A whole break, right? So
yeah,
some people don't use that time to do their work and stuff like that. They just like kind of chill. And even in class sometimes you
yeah,
get like stuff you're supposed to do, like, but you just leave it for after when you're already in the class and you could be doing it, so you don't have to do it after. It's kind of like people don't see the importance of time sometimes. Like like I'm trying to make every single minute count. Like I'm trying to limit this podcast down just so I have time for other stuff, because I got a bunch of assignments to do tomorrow. So
yeah.
just I just want to limit
Yes,
that,
I
right?
would
I
say
just want to really, yeah. Go ahead.
save chill time. Like a lot of times we spend our chill time before we do the work, especially in class. Like you'll spend your chill time in class and then just to put off the work till later. And then what ends up happening is you end up not having enough time, or you miscalculated and you don't get your work done, or something bad happens. If you do all your work first, then you can have a big chunk of your chill time at the end of the day, however much is left. And I mean, obviously we all do it. We all procrastinate, but we all know that we should be doing the work first as fast as possible.
Yeah, some days I have like some weeks, like usually it's a week or like a couple weeks where I'm just super motivated and I get stuff done, and then I kind of like fall a bit off, and I let things slip a bit. But I guess it's just not letting the kind of lows bring you too low, or like even the
Hmm.
highs get you too high, because sometimes you reach this accomplishment, or um you do something really well, and then you're not working as hard as you did before that in what got you there, right? And then you just kind of relax and you become complacent, and then the same success doesn't come toward you, right? And when you're super disappointed, you just don't want to. Some people just don't use that as sort of motivation to get better. They kind of just they kind of just go really low, and that's all they think about, right? So I guess it's just finding a balance between not keeping the bad things get you down too much, and the good things get you too like happy. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
the best. Like just learn how to do that, and I guess it's just understanding yourself really well. Just understanding that I think it really has to actually tie down with patience and stuff like that, because a lot of people don't get patient. Like they want things to occur really fast, and yeah, I guess that's really it. Yeah. So you have any like last things you want to tell the audience or anything like that, because I'm gonna end off the podcast really soon. So anything you want
Yeah, just to
any
finish
advice,
off.
anything like that.
Yeah, as long as you enjoy what you're doing, then you can work hard at it. Obviously, don't like we're talking a lot about hard work and everything, but it's gonna be enjoyable as long as you enjoy what you're doing. Number two, do them like Tim Ferriss has a good thing about doing the most important things first in your day, and then you don't have to be super efficient. You don't have to be working all the time as long as you're efficient. So do the top most important things first. Like if you only could get one thing done that day, what would it be? Do that first, and then it'll give you more. It'll use your time well. But it's just some final thoughts, I guess. If you're young, if you're listening to this, just follow your gut. Do the work that you want. Listen to yourself first, and really use the power of the internet, Google, research, books. Really, really, really use that, because you can do whatever you want if you research it and read about it and study about it yourself. So put the power in your own hands. And yeah, thank you, Stephen, for having me. If anyone wants, you can find me everywhere at Justin Odisho, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I also have a podcast too, which I'm on 10 episodes. I've had Stephen on an episode, so you guys can listen to me and Stephen's full conversation there if you want to side of the conversation. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a short one, but I think it was a pretty good discussion. You guys can take a lot away from this. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Steven, and I'll see you in the next one.